What's up guys, it's Misha with Winnie Designs, and today I'm going to show you how to do a large format tile on your shower floor. It's one of the biggest trends out there right now. Everybody hates grout, I hate grout. So this is a great way to limit any grout that you have and also keeping a really nice and pretty design in your shower floor. The process that we're going to do applies to all the other different types of tile that you would use. So if you want to follow along in this video, do the exact same thing at home with whatever tile you have, and then you can replicate this result. But essentially our entire shower is going to be made out of 6 pieces of tile. It's going to be 4 pieces that are cut down with relief cuts. So let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to mark our center on our drain. So we're going to put our center right here. And now we're going to measure off of that center to our 4 sides of the wall and write those down right here on the pan.
Make sure you're giving yourself 1/4 inch of room around the wall perimeter.
Basically, first thing you do is you get your tile, however you want to lay out the pattern that you want. We have these 4 massive pieces of tile. I moved it around the way I wanted it. I got all my perfect level master clips in just to hold that thing together. And now we have to trace out our drain. So our drain is 4 inches. So come over here this way. We have 2 inches. This way. Now we have our drain. We're going to put it upside down, centered, kind of where we want it. Like there-ish. Then I'm going to make sure that it's nice, like that. Put the pressure on top. And we're just going to take our pencil. Bang. So that's our drain. So if it was 12 by 24, you would just recreate your floor, put the drain in the middle, trace it out. Now we have those measurements. We got to mark them on here and then box them out.
So these are the measurements that we made from the center of our drain inside the shower that we wrote down on our pan. Make sure that you don't mess these up because this is super important. Also, in this video, somewhere in here is going to be an Easter egg. That is the price for how much we charge per square foot to do this.
All right, so now once we have this, I'm going to pick my corner right here, right here, right here, right here. And then I'm going to get my straight edge, and I'm going to go from my outside corner to that corner right here. And this is our relief cuts. This is what's going to help it funnel towards the drain. All right, so here, I'm gonna do all my perimeter cuts with just my manual cutter right there. The cuts are gonna be nice and straight, but they're not gonna be perfectly smooth, right? If you guys don't have a big cutter like that, you can use a grinder to do this. These relief cuts, I'm going to use my big saw. I'm lucky enough to have one of those, because then I can just flop the thing right on there and then make those cuts nice. But again, if you don't have that, you could use a grinder, make the cut, and then a polishing wheel or a sanding pad, and clean up that edge, and then it'll be okay. So it won't be as easy, but it will be definitely manageable and doable. At the end of the video, I'm gonna show you how to make one of these long cuts with a grinder, so definitely stay tuned for that.
If you're doing this professionally, I can't stress enough how important it is to have the right tools for this stuff. This entire process right here took me about 8 minutes to cut this whole tile to size, which typically would take me probably an hour, if not more. But I'm lucky enough to be able to get one of these cutters, and then the same thing with my big cutter. But if you're a homeowner that's practicing and just wants to do one of these at home, definitely need to practice on just spare tile on how to make your cuts. These are perimeter cuts, so they don't have to be perfect. You got to focus more on your relief cuts. That's where you want to use a polishing pad and just clean them up.
All right, so our perimeter is cut. Now we got to do our relief cuts. So basically this is our shower floor, but we got to make it go to the drain. So we have our cuts here. If you don't have a big saw like this where I can just put it down, cut it, then you got to use a grinder and do that through. Or it'd be really hard on the push tray to push that through. But if you do a grinder, make a nice cut polish it, it will work. I'll show you that again at the end of the video on how to do a long cut like that, nice and clean. But we're gonna cut it on our saw, put it back together right here, and then with our grinder, we're going to grind out, cut out the middle as well. And that's our next step. Let's go.
Anytime you have long cuts like this, there's a tendency for the tile to blow out. So what you have to do is you come across first and then score the tile, and then where that skinny edge is, you have to cut all the way through first before you cut the rest of the tile. So I'm scoring the tile here, cutting the through right there at the end, and then cut the tile all the way through. And that's how you keep those blowouts blown in.
All right, guys, so now we have our relief cuts made. There's a bit of a sharp edge on there. You could definitely feel it with your foot. So either use a polishing wheel is what I'm going to do, is just faster, or you get one of these, I use Ruby sandpaper, guys. It's a little sponge. So you just kind of come on here and clean that up. These are pretty cheap, you just order them right on Amazon. But I'm going to use one of these guys, so just clean up these edges right here.
So this right here is probably one of the most important steps, because if you don't polish out that cut edge, the homeowner could cut their foot. And if they can cut their foot, then it's a bad shower tile job. So make sure that you get your polishing wheel, get that figured out nice, and then it's going to look legit.
Okay, so now all that's left for our cut is to cut out the drain. And we have our pencil mark here. And now I'm just going to use my grinder. I've got a brand new Ruby blade on here. I'm going to make that cut. And then with the sander, I'm just going to clean it up to make it nice and smooth. And that's it. So we just got to do 6 of them, 8 of them. Let's go.
Before you actually go to your shower pan and start cutting it out, it might be worth kind of practicing a little bit on the side to make sure that you can get a nice little curve around that drain. Other than that, this is pretty straightforward. Just grind out the drain.
All right, so we got our drain all cut out. Now I'm gonna go and dry fit it in the shower, and let's see how we did. So we got our floor dry fitted. You wanna make sure you have a nice good reveal around the drain. When you're dry fitting, you want the drain to be a little bit above your tile. At the moment, it's not, so when we're gonna take the tile out, we're gonna unscrew it just like 2 turns to make sure that they're nice in line once the thin set, because the thin set is gonna push our tile up a little bit. We are going to use our Perfect Level Master clips here to bring everything to the same level.
So for a shower floor, I'm using Laticrete Multi-Max Light. This is not mastic, this is white thin set. Make sure you use a 3/4 inch U-notch trowel, and having a suction cup tool helps so much. So maybe get one of those.
All right, so the floor is done, and let's check it, right? So this is the test. We're gonna throw our level on it. And first you wanna make sure that your drain is nice and even with your tile. Because if the tile is above, then that's a big problem. Let's throw our level on there. Bang. Let me show you this. All right, so that's our level there. Let's go. Then we're going to grab one of the little guys here, and we want to make sure that we're pitched towards the drain, just like so over there, and we're level all around this way. That's why prepping your floor is so important. When we did our shower base and we did our self-leveler there, it's so that we could just stick this and not have to worry about messing around with different elevations or anything like that. That's it. That's all that's to it. For something like this, we charge $45 a square foot for the install only. So install, thin set, all that stuff. That does not include the tile or anything like that. But again, if you guys ever want to do something like this on your own, it's not that hard, I guess. It's not that complicated, but you just have to have the right tools. The right tools definitely help, but that's it.